Will Smith freaked out at the Oscars, and I bet you judged him, and I'm here to tell you, you should not, and here's why. We all get flooded, and when we're flooded, we can say or do really unacceptable things. I'm Dr. Cheryl Fraser, psychologist, sex therapist, and I'm calling you out because none of us in glass houses should be throwing stones. Here's what I mean very simply. What happened to Will Smith was he got flooded. This happens to all of us with a human body sometimes. When you're angry, upset, triggered, grief-stricken, frightened, or anxious, your body goes into something called diffuse physiological arousal, or DPA. That's a long term, so we say flooding in the biz instead. This means that your body is literally flooded with biochemicals, adrenaline, cortisol, and you're in what is well known as a fight or flight response. It happens instantly, and you can't turn it off right away because it takes about 20 to 30 minutes for our flooded body to calm down again. Here's the great one quick example that you can all relate to. Have you ever had a nightmare? I know you have. I still have on occasion a repeating nightmare of being eaten by a great white shark. I blame my parents. They let me see Jaws when I was 11 years old. Clearly irresponsible parenting. And I live on a beach, so the whole shark thing kind of gets to me sometimes. But here's the thing. What happens when you have a nightmare? Here's what happens to me and all of us with human bodies. You wake up like this after a nightmare, right? Oh, honey, I had the weirdest dream. No, you don't. We wake up like this. Our body is flooded because in that instant, even though it's not a real shark, our body believes we're under threat. And we have adrenaline and cortisol. Do you fall right back to sleep? Of course not. You can't fall back asleep for 20 to 30 minutes because your body's flooded. What's that got to do with Will Smith? More importantly, what's it got to do with you and your marriage? A lot. He got triggered. He lost it. His body was flooded. He couldn't calm himself down, and he made the fundamental terrible error that each and every one of you has made and I have made, which is he opened his mouth and or took action from a flooded state. What we want to learn to do, and this is very difficult to do, is to learn when we're flooded in the next instant to take a walk, go calm down, go work with our body, say nothing. I teach couples a sophisticated timeout technique in my program. I know some of you have been emailing, when can we join the program? We're not offering it twice this year. We're only offering it once this fall, so you'll hear about it in September, and I hope many of you will join the program. But one of the things we work on is what to do in a marital or love argument when we are flooded. How to calm yourself down, how to not take action that can have permanent consequences. Will Smith got flooded. I'm not judging him for being flooded because I get flooded too. When I've been flooded, and I challenge each and every one of you watching to admit to yourself, what's the worst thing you've ever done in your relationship when you're flooded? What cruel insult did you hurl at your sweetheart? We know our sweetheart's Achilles heels. We know their history. If we're flooded and we want to go for the jugular, not because that's who we are, but because in a flooded state, we're in an altered state of consciousness. What's the worst thing you've said or done? Who are you to judge Will Smith? Last thing I want to say, you can learn more about flooding and how to repair it in your relationship in a podcast I recorded just yesterday on this same topic. So if this is intriguing you, you can find out below how to go hear a longer version of this teaching. But basically, when we're flooded, we are literally not in our right mind. Most of our human executive functioning happens up here in what's called the forebrain. That's our ability to predict consequences, our ability to look ahead, and our ability to decide, I better not do that. Right? So your boss insults you and you're flooded and you want to tell him to take a hike and you quit this damn job. But hopefully your forebrain gets in there and stops you saying that because you need the paycheck for at least a few more months to feed your kids and pay your mortgage and look for another job. Well, that went bye-bye for Will Smith. He acted out of his flooding. I've done it. You've done it. Quit judging him and use this as an example to hold up a mirror and look at yourself. What do I say or do when I am flooded? What have I done in the past, and how can I bit by bit learn to repair this and help in my relationship? When flooded, take a time out. Stop talking. Definitely stop arguing. Take 30 minutes. Remember, when you wake up from a nightmare, it takes 20 to 30 minutes for that flooding to calm down. Then and only then should you approach your sweetheart and begin again. Too bad I didn't get to talk to Chris and Will before the Oscars and been their couples therapist, or everything might have worked out differently. I look forward to seeing you next week. Hey, super cool. We're filming a new batch of Love Bite videos for you that will be dripping over the next 2 months on the top 5 relationship questions, the top 5 love and sex questions you have and we all have, and that we need help with. Stay tuned for those. I'm Dr. Cheryl Fraser. If you have a friend who'd enjoy this, get them to subscribe to the list and they'll be lucky enough to get a Love Bite into their email box every Tuesday morning, just like you. Bye for now.